Welcome to the video on EPM add-in conditional formatting. In previous releases of BPC, it was much easier to format a report by a dynamic setting than it is in the EPM add-in. Well, utilizing conditional formatting, this can be quite easily accomplished within the EPM add-in. Take, for example, this report. We want all of the formatting based off the current time dimension member or less than that to be one shade, while we want everything greater than that dimension member to be a different color. If we were to select February of 2009, we would want only January and February to be a light color blue, while all of the outlier months to be a different color. Let's walk through this step by step. Let's create a new workbook. Within this new workbook, we're going to create a new report. We're going to bring the account dimension to the row axis and the time dimension to the column axis. In the time dimension, we're only going to show or only want to expand on the one member. And that's because we always want to show the entire year from start to finish, in this case January to December, but the years will change, or we'll be able to change. And we're going to manufacture our column axis. That is why we only want member only instead of base members. If we were to have base members, it would always overwrite what we're wanting to do, and we're not wanting that. So now that we have our basic report, we're going to utilize a couple of functions. In C1, we're going to utilize EPM context member to always get the current context of the time dimension. Below that, we're going to utilize another EPM function, EPM member property, because we want to get the property of the current time dimension member, the month num property, to know which month number it is. And you'll notice that when I completed my double quote here, it puts the result here. This is actually a character and not a value. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to add the Excel function value, precede the EPM member property function with value. In G1, what we're going to do is we're going to take, we always want this to be January of the current year. So what we're going to utilize is the left formula, Excel formula, of C1, comma 4 to only get the year. Utilize the ampersand and concatenate .01 for January. In my time dimension, my months are 01, 02, 03 up to 12, but this could also be utilized for .jan, .feb, .march, .december. We're also going to want to take the property, the month num property of that. But instead of leaving it at that, what we're going to want to do is have a little if statement. So in the beginning of this formula, we're going to if this value is less than or equal to C2, we're going to hard code that. We're going to anchor that both on the row and the column. If it's less than or equal to that, we'll do a Y, else we'll type in no. Now we need to fill out the rest of our year. So we're going to utilize another EPM property, EPM member offset. We're going to link it to the previous row or column, G1. I'm going to offset it by 1. Oops. G1. And we're going to take this, copy this formula, and paste it here. we're going to take these two, H1 and H2, copy those, and paste them out to column R. I accidentally did S, but I don't need that. I just want the full current year. Now we need to correct our EPM OLAP member to show the correct month. In order to do that, if we look at the EPM OLAP member, we'll notice that there are 5 different parameters. The first one is being the most important and the only one that you can customize, with the last one being which report we're looking at. So with that, what we're going to do is, since I said the very first parameter was the most important, we're going to place our cursor between the left paren and the quote, and we're going to reference G1, put a comma, and then remove the now third parameter, the blank. And that's going to give us January of the current year. I'm going to copy this and paste this out to R7. If we refresh our report, we will get our data. Also, if we change our time dimension from February to March, we'll notice that our Y's have changed as well. So let's utilize some formatting. We click View Formats, and we would like our default row member to be blue. But now what we can do is we can utilize some conditional formatting. So we do conditional formatting from the home ribbon, new rule. We're going to use a formula, and we're going to utilize F2 equals no, and the format we're going to change it to a lighter shade of yellow. Now, one thing that is very important, I did not need to point to F2 or sheet 1 F2. I just need F2 because this F2 is in relation to this column right here, F, in the EPM formatting sheet. So what it's going to do is it's going to copy this cell into all of these cells. You would have thought that I would have marked G2, but it's actually in relationship to this cell right here. So I come into G, go back to the EPM add-in ribbon, and do a refresh. Oh, we need to turn our formatting on. What happened there is I had my priority was to column instead of to row. And what had happened was my default format apply was on for my column. Therefore, it was overriding, this formatting was overriding what I had. So now that I have priority to row, I come into sheet and I refresh, and now all of my members from the current time dimension member less than that are a certain color, or formatted a certain color, while everything to the right of that, or greater than, is a different color. If I change this to February, it works. If I were to change to a different year, not only does my formatting changed, but also my time. And I can still drill down on my account dimension as I choose. So, in summary, when needing to utilize a dynamic formatting or dynamic parameter for your formatting, don't forget to use conditional formatting. That works great. Thank you very much.